After 7 months of using the Sony ZV-E10 in all conditions possible, today I'm going to give you my quick, honest, long-term review on this vlog camera. But the only way to properly do that is to walk around and vlog with it, right? Howdy folks, so as a lot of you guys know, I've put this damn camera to use. I honestly try to keep up with YouTube and all that, and from what I've seen, I don't think anyone has really used this camera like I have. From shooting multiple concerts to snowboarding with it, winter camping, boat rides, hiking in the mountains, hiking in the city. I've truly done it all with this camera and I really do love it, but it does have a few quirks. Let's start with the things I like about this camera. First off, for vlogging's sake, you ideally want your setup to be as small and compact as possible, and this camera checks all those boxes. Next, as you can tell, the quality is great. It gives out a beautiful 4K image, and this camera could kinda do it all. From just pointing and shooting to cinematics, I don't have many complaints except for one major one, which is the stabilization. Now, if I'm being completely honest, if it wasn't for catalyst browse, I probably still wouldn't be using this camera. It's just truly a lifesaver, and to me, it's the backbone of this camera, especially if you're running around and shooting like I am. You know, if Sony pitched the ZV-E10 as like a studio talking head tripod camera, I'd probably have zero complaints with it. But since it's supposed to be a vlog camera, we need a little better stability. Having to render each clip through catalyst browse is a little annoying to say the least, but the quality it gives you in return keeps me satisfied in coming back to this camera. Now, after 7 months of using this camera, I'm not gonna lie, I just feel like I fully figured it out recently and got my settings dialed into exactly how I like it. I was just about to share the settings with you guys, but I recently released a Patreon to help fund and support this channel, so I think I'm just gonna post my settings in there to help provide some extra value to my patrons and keep the secret sauce within the community. Sorry, not sorry, but honestly, at the same time, if you guys do have any questions about this camera, just feel free to ask them in the comments and I'll gladly answer them. Now, one thing that a lot of people complain about with this camera though is the rolling shutter. Now, I don't know if it's because I have stabilization turned off, but I never notice it unless I'm shooting directly outside a car window going on the highway or something. And if I'm being completely honest, if you're moving around the camera enough to see the rolling shutter, you probably shouldn't be using that footage anyways. Now, when it comes to audio, the onboard mic is decent, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been using it recently. I've been using my Rode Video Micro because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to audio, and I prefer the sound of this. Now, it does add a little bit of size to your camera, but it's definitely worth it. If you'd like to buy one, check out the link in my description. Another issue with this camera, but it's to be expected with such a small camera, is the battery life ain't great. Especially if you're shooting in 4K, it goes pretty quick. Now, when I'm out vlogging for the day, I usually go through at least 2 to 3 batteries, so if you haven't, I would definitely recommend getting a few extra. So this video and all my vlogs filmed over the last 7 months have been filmed with the kit lens. With this camera, it's all you need. When vlogging on the 16 and a 10% crop on catalyst, it still looks great as you can tell. Unless you got some tiny arms or something, the kit lens works perfectly fine. So, I don't know if I have much else to say about the ZV-E10, but to sum everything up, for its price point, it's truly a great camera. If you take the time to actually learn how to use it and work around its little quirks, you can achieve some awesome image quality. Now, one of my most asked questions on these Sony ZV-E10 videos is, how does your footage look so good? What are your settings? Blah, 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 blah. And if I'm being real with you guys, I think the reason my footage might look better than yours, it's because this isn't my first camera. Unlike most people who buy the Sony ZV-E10, I've had years of experience before buying this camera. So I know how to line up shots, I know about composition, editing, and all that kind of stuff. So don't be disappointed if your footage doesn't look like mine. It takes time and practice, and eventually you'll learn it's the shooter that matters and not the camera. But with that, I'll see you next week. Much love, guys.